That was messy, Sylvie. Chicks. Get your friends here, Sylvie. Tell a friend. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Alrighty. What's going on, everybody? I'm out here cleaning and rescuing eggs. And I just broke up the party. And the chickens were dust bathing in the sand. And I guess I wasn't invited to that party. Okay, so doing a little enrichment distribution here with the cage cups on the walls of the chicken run, and the layer feed in the bottles. And one more coop to clean, and I'm done. Stick a fork in me. It is appreciably warmer in here than it is outside. All right, say hello. Let us know where you're looking in from and what the temperature is where you are. The chicken poop was frozen to the droppings boards this morning. And let's go get those eggs, actually, if there are any. Hang on, let me pick up on aisle 3 over here. Why do you guys always have to poop on the ramp into the coop or out of the coop? Not frozen. Frozen. Holy cow. All right. That's seriously frozen. There, got it. Holy cow. That's serious business. It was, come on outside, you guys. I don't want you in the coop unless you're laying an egg. You know the drill. Let's go. Okie doke. So let's head out and see about some eggs here. And then we'll come back in the run. Come on out. Not you, Sylvie. Sylvie had been dust bathing with a friend when I started the live. But I guess they didn't want to be spied on. So, look how pretty. Boop. All right. It's cold enough for the eggs to freeze even after a few hours out here today. So, I got to get it done. I already got one and an earbud out of the cedar coop, the Little Deuce coop. My Chicken Chick Essential coop is actually insulated on the roof of the egg boxes. So hopefully that makes a little difference for them, comfort-wise. And gives the eggs a little bit of a protection from freezing. I don't know. Just collect early and often. That's the tip. Right there, that's the trick. Alrighty. Oh, yay, 2 eggs in here. Uh-oh, one's frozen. Shoot. Now, I know these weren't in here overnight because I sent Mary Kate out here to close up the coops and to check eggs. So, that must have been laid like early this morning. And I am not an early bird, so that's the sacrifice you make when you sleep in. All right. Yeah, it's cold. All right, let's go check in on the other flockers. You guys can see what they're up to. All the runs are clean. 2 of the coops are clean. And everybody's got enrichment. Cage cups were just topped. are filled. And let's look in the chicken coop here so you can see what's going on. Since I use droppings boards and sand for litter in the coop, it is completely dry in here. Completely dry. Oh, hi, did you just lay a blue egg, or am I interrupting? I could take my party somewhere else. Yeah, no, totally. It's, 28 degrees in here? She did just lay that. No, you didn't. That's not warm. And also, you lay blue eggs. So, that's not possible. So, yeah, so the droppings boards are clean, so there's no moisture in here. I just cleaned the litter. You can see straight down to the floor. We need to get more sand in here this spring and summer. I like to be able to dig deep. You can come back and lay an egg if you're gonna. I'll get out of here. So yeah, that's the key to all year long, a clean, dry chicken coop, stink-free, and the chickens have a nice, healthy environment to live in. Sometimes they'll dust bathe on the floor of the chicken coop in the winter. Let's see if anyone's dust bathing in here. What you guys up to? Hi. Coming in. Housekeeping. Beep, beep. Kicking my boots off of the snow here. Now, don't go in the coop, please. You guys are not egg laying. She's like 3 years old. She ain't egg laying at the moment. So, yeah. And I want you to look at this comb on my Spanish. It is perfectly unfrostbitten. This is not a breed you should have in cold climates. This was a choice. But I know how to manage so that they stay frostbite free without any supplemental heat. Do any of these chickens look mad that they didn't have heat in their chicken coop last night? No, they're not mad. They're perfectly capable of keeping themselves warm. Everybody is out and about, and maybe a little cabin fever, sure. Christine, do the best you can, and worry is a misuse of imagination. You can't break it down so precisely. So don't worry. As long as you've done your job, don't worry. There's nothing more that you can or should be doing. Chickens are built for the cold. They're little furnaces wrapped in down jackets. Look at this comb. It was negative, I think it got down to -7 last night at the coldest. So that is a perfectly happy comb. Everybody's good. All right. So let's see. Hello, Shira and Valerie. Yeah, it's cold everywhere. And, I don't work any harder at keeping these chickens healthy. I probably work less hard than most backyard chickeneers. And I have 3 coops and 3 runs. So if you put systems in place that work for you all year long, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. You don't have to kill yourself. The only difference between summer and winter in my management of the chickens is plugging in the drinker, the heated drinker, and we put up the plastic. And that makes a huge difference in the temperature in the run. So it is just about 28 in here. That's lovely. Even I won't complain about that. And I have a body temperature of 98.6. So yeah. The temperature outside is not the same as it should not be the same as the temperature inside your run or in your chicken coop. So, yeah, if you're not sure how to winterize, then make sure you read my article, Surviving Winter with Chickens. Why are we pecking my boots here? Snow? Yeah. Let's see. Michelle says she believes one of her chickens has lice. And then the next thing she says is, I don't see anything moving. Then she doesn't have lice, Michelle. If you do not see insects on your birds, feather loss is not from mites or lice, okay? If they have external parasites, mites or lice, you're going to see them. They're visible. So her abdomen is completely bare and she's losing feathers. And don't treat your birds if they are not infested. It's not a best practice. Don't do it. Nope. So Michelle, I would want to know what your diet consists of for your birds. Are you feeding them anything besides a nutritionally complete layer feed? How old is that hen? Has she molted this year? Have there been any drastic changes in anything, including having water inaccessible to them for a period of time? There's lots of things that can cause feather loss. And mites and lice is not on the top of the list. It just isn't. It isn't on the top of the list. So check your chickens once or twice a month. Pick them up. Part their feathers around their vents for your crested birds. Part their feathers around their heads and take a look. Do not treat chickens for anything without knowing that they have the thing you're treating for and trying to get rid of. It is not a best practice. And it's a waste of money and time and worry, because guess what? You're still going to have whatever problem it was that's causing the underlying feather loss after you've wasted that money and that time and that expense and the insult to your birds. So yeah, don't do it. So in backyard flocks, the number one reason for feather loss is diluted nutrition. You're giving them treats, you're giving them snacks, you're giving them supplements, you're giving them kitchen scraps and leftovers and extras and fresh fruit and don't give them any of that stuff. They don't benefit from it. Some chickens are more sensitive to omissions in their diet than others. So cut out all the stuff that you're feeding them that they don't need, that they don't benefit from. If they need the nutrient, it's already in their chicken feed in the right amounts and in the right balance. They don't need more of anything. They don't need additional anything beyond their chicken feed. We're paying an arm and a leg for chicken feed. It's enough. It's ideal. We don't give our infants anything besides breast milk or formula because that's ideal. That's balanced. That's what they need. They don't need more of any particular nutrient. So that's as best an analogy as I can give you. The other issue in backyard flocks, are you using food-grade diatomaceous earth? That is very damaging to feathers. It dries out their skin. It makes little microscopic lacerations in their skin. It dries out the preen oils from their feathers. So that is, if you're using anything in their environment, including lime or food-grade diatomaceous earth or hardwood ash, they don't need it. They don't benefit from it, and they are not going to, you are not actually preventing any sort of parasite problem. So it's a misunderstanding and it's a misuse of that product, and it's not safe. It is unsafe for chickens and it's unsafe for you to be breathing it. So never food grade diatomaceous earth or any other product in their dust bath or in their nest boxes. That's okay. It was you, Noelle. I'm literally, everybody else is hearing me. Yep. She's 2 years old. So she's probably molting. She's 2. She's probably molting. Best guess. Yep. All right. Scrolling down here. Hello, excuse me. Hello, Jill in Michigan. Hello, David in doesn't say where. Nope, hardwood ash is not good for them. So if you don't understand the rationale or the science behind something that somebody recommends to you, whether it's beneficial or not, or whether the reason they cite to you for doing it is even a goal that you need to achieve. You do not need to prevent outdoor animals from getting parasites. They're going to. You only need to treat if they get them, when they get them, and you're monitoring for them, because that's the job. You don't need to try. You can't prevent them from coming in contact with wildlife. You can't. And that's where wildlife is going to, and that's where lice and mites are going to come from. Brought in on wild things like rodents, like wild birds. You can't prevent them from flying over. And having hardwood ash in your dust bath or anywhere for your chickens to roll around in is not beneficial to them. It is a respiratory hazard. It's gross. It gets them all ashy, and it's drying to their skin. Let them be. They spend hours preening their feathers to move the preen oil from the area at the top of their tail where it meets the back. There's a little like a tall, it looks kind of like a tall skinny pimple. If you've never seen it, look for it next time you check for mites and lice. That's their preen gland. Usually there's a little part of a tiny like bristle of feathers sticking out of that. They pull the preen oil out of that area. Here you go. I got a volunteer here who's going to let me show you the preen gland on her. See it right there? Ow, stop it. My nail polish is sparkly and I'm getting pecked. That's a preen gland. So they take the preen oil off that preen gland and they work it into their feathers meticulously after dust bathing. And they need that. That's doing a job. It's doing several jobs. If you're putting something drying in their dust bath, like food grade diatomaceous earth or hardwood ash, you're drying out their skin and their feathers. And that's not good. That can result in feather loss, but it's not going to prevent mites or lice, I assure you. I've been doing this since 2011 here on Facebook. And if I had a nickel for everybody who used food grade diatomaceous earth and then came to me months later out of frustration saying, I've been using it in the dust bath, I've been putting it on my chickens to try to get rid of this mite infestation, and they're just not going away. My chickens are losing weight. They aren't laying eggs. They look terrible. Well, that's because food grade diatomaceous earth is not a good insecticide, and it's not an insecticide that should be on any animal ever, much less chickens, regularly. So, and it's cancer causing in humans. So if it's in your environment, you're breathing it every time you go into your coop or run, and that is a carcinogen. So shouldn't use it, don't need it, it doesn't help. They're going to get them anyway. Infrequently. It doesn't make you a bad chickeneer, but you know, you've bought into the fear. You've bought into the fear that you have to keep them parasite free. That's not a thing. They live in the wild. They live outdoors. Every animal that lives outdoors is subject to parasites. That's where the management comes in. You do things like keep a separation to the extent possible from wildlife coming into their environment. So make sure you don't have mice or rats. Keep your feed off the ground. Keep it inaccessible to rodents. That's why I use a treadle feeder. So there's things that you can control and things that you can't, and things you shouldn't try to control, because it is useless. All right, let's see here. Scrolling down. Yeah, peat moss is fine for a dust bath. I mean, it depends what kind of litter you're using in your chicken run. I wouldn't use peat moss if I'm using sand, because I don't want peat moss is going to absorb moisture from the droppings, and I don't want that when I'm using sand. When I'm using sand, I'm lifting it out just like with a kitty litter scooper. And if there's peat moss that gets mixed into my sand, now my sand isn't keeping my my chicken run dry anymore. The moisture is being retained by the peat moss, and in freezing temperatures, it's going to freeze. So now I've got frozen poop in the peat moss. And so, you know, if you use a different kind of litter, then you probably won't mind if they get the peat moss in your litter. But it is a good enrichment activity to put sand or peat moss in a kiddie pool or just a corner of your chicken run for them to dust bathe in the winter if your chicken run is otherwise frozen. And please don't try to switch to sand for litter in freezing temperatures. The type of sand that you use, should be washed, and washed sand is by definition going to be moist or damp. That's a better word than the M word. So it has to have the opportunity to dry out after you've put it where you're going to be using it, whether it's in the coop or the run or both. And you cannot have, you don't have the opportunity to let it dry out in the winter. It's going to freeze. Any type of water, any type of litter that you use that gets wet is going to freeze in the winter. So sand doesn't, because it's not absorbent. It's dry and it stays dry. That's why it is ideal for the healthier chickens. Look, she's using our enrichment bottle as intended. You love to see it. So yeah. All right. Hello, Beth and Debbie in Illinois. If you're just joining, say hello. Let me know where you're looking in from. You can see that some of the chickens are on the roost and looking a little rounder. They're not fat. Fat chickens are unhealthy chickens. You don't want fat chickens. But if they're looking rounder like that than they usually do, it's because their feathers have been moved away from their bodies by their little goose pimple muscles along their feather tracts, and that is helping them to stay warm because they are actually creating more space, more of an air space between their skin and feathers so that they can trap more air. And that air is going to be warmed by their body heat, by their normal body heat. And, it's like how you warm up in bed at night. You get in and it's cold in the winter. And after a very short period of time, you've warmed the air around you and the covers are trapping it inside. That's why no one wants to go to the bathroom in the winter time in the middle of the night if you don't absolutely have to. If you have one of those husbands who likes it 60 some degrees in the bedroom. Not I, said the goose, but Mr. Chicken Chicks likes it a lot colder than I do. But whatever, that is none of your business. And so yeah, the chickens are keeping themselves warm the same way you stay warm, well, in a similar way to warming up the air in the covers of your bed. So that's why it's so important for them not to have any drafts on them while they are trying to keep themselves warm. So, yepper. All right. All right, check on your drinkers, guys. Look how round she looks. Jennifer Bielefelder. Yep. Notably, nobody is standing. One girl is standing on one leg. That is a thermoregulatory measure. Pulling a foot up into your undercarriage as a chicken is a way to keep that foot warm, and they'll swap. So they'll warm it next to their bodies, and then they'll swap. But she's the only one doing that at the moment. So What is your story? Here we go, Thelma, with the chicken Kong. All right, let's get up out of here. I forgot where I put my eggs. I do know they're all in one basket, though. So let's just double check this chicken coop to see if anybody has laid a blue egg, because my Whiting True Blue did come out of the nest. I scared her out of the nest box. Oh, my boot is untied. That's not getting tied out here. Okay. Way too far. Oh, sorry. She's still in there. No, she hasn't laid it yet. Okay, I know I'm an irritant. I'm annoying, and I'm sorry. I just want to make sure it doesn't freeze, because it's that cold out here. So any other questions that I can help with, guys, I will go through the questions and comments later on, so that if I missed one of yours, I'll try to find it later on. Make sure you're turning your notifications on so that you don't miss my answer. Nothing worse than spending time typing out an answer to someone, or needing more information and asking lots of questions and then not getting follow-up from people and not thinking that I've answered you. So, and coming back the next day and asking the same thing again. It's just, make sure you turn on your notifications so Facebook tells you you've got a reply. But you can always go directly to my website, chickenchick.com, for answers to all your chicken care best practices. Just use the search bar if you have something particular in mind, or search around, see what you can find. And if you don't already have my book, it's the Chicken Chick's Guide to Backyard Chickens. Keep chickens simply with best practices, knowing the reasons that you're doing the things that the chickens need. There's so many things that people on social media tell you that you should be doing, that sound good in theory, but in practice are not objectives that you need to even attain. Chickens are very simple. They require very little to be healthy and to be happy. So do less. And I talk about how to do that in the book and on my website. So that is going to do it from here for now. Until next time, everybody, keep it simple, and we'll talk again soon. Have a good one. Bye now.